In this episode, we look at the latest price movements on the fresh produce markets in South Africa as usual, with the carrot and avocado prices starting to show signs of life again. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. Hi, I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe and this is the AMT John Deere Fruit and Vegetable Outlook, brought to you by John Deere, Nile.ag, Halfway Toyota Ottery and Zimmatic Irrigation Systems. Feel free to visit our website at amtrends.co.za for the latest prices, information and more detailed reports. You can also enjoy these videos on YouTube or Facebook or join one of our popular WhatsApp groups. I will put the links in the description below. But with that said, let's take a look at what happened in the economy over the past week. The rand strengthened significantly last week, trading on R18.20 per dollar at one point. However, it has since weakened to R18.66. The rand's movement is currently driven by interest rates adjustments and expected adjustments both in America and locally. However, it appears that interest rates will likely remain unchanged over the short term, which will have a minimum effect on the exchange rate as well. Brent oil prices decreased to $80 per barrel due to concerns about significantly lower demand from the United States and China, which is the two largest oil consumers globally. OPEC will meet again on November 26 to decide on production. If they decide to cut it again, prices may recover slightly. In the vegetable market, the average national potato price started to increase again, which was mostly driven by lower volumes delivered on the markets last week. The latest price increased to R96.19 per 10 kilogram bag, with volumes about 7% lower week on week. Large medium mondials traded between 85 and 90 rand on the Nile platform. But we are expecting prices to remain in a general downward trend for the rest of this year due to higher expected volumes on the markets. Tomato prices increased by about 7% to R14.18, while volumes decreased by 3% over the past week. The lower volumes are still due to the cold weather we had a few weeks ago, but I think that the warmer weather more recently will now have the opposite effect, with more volumes that can push prices significantly downward soon. The extra large tomato price traded on R17.98, while medium tomatoes traded on R14.82 per kilogram. Although the national average carrot price remained in its long-term sideways trend, it started to show signs of life and increased to R4.85 per kilogram, while the average large price increased to R5.01 per kilogram. I think that this upward trend can continue for the rest of this year due to slightly better expected demand. On Nile, the Class 1 large carrot price increased to 60 rand per 10 kilogram bag. Onion prices decreased to R38.91 per 10 kilogram bag and is now 62% lower than a year ago. Last year this time the price traded on 110 rand per 10 kilogram bag, which was driven by lower volumes then. Currently we're seeing 54% higher volumes on the markets. Brown onion prices decreased to 36 rand. White onions were lower on 39 rand, while the latest red onion price increased to 136 rand per 10 kilogram bag. The average price is likely to stay on a lower level for now, but possibly increase just before Christmas again due to higher expected demand. This broadcast is made possible by John Deere, Nile.ag, Halfway Toyota Ottery and Zimmatic Irrigation Systems. Nile's online market makes it possible to order directly from South Africa's leading producers. Producers get the benefit of better price transparency, lower commissions and faster payments. Learn more about Nile.ag on their website www.nile.ag and make sure to download their app for easy online trading. For a journey of a lifetime, let Halfway Toyota Ottery help you find your first price. For more information, contact their dealer principal and review him directly on 083 457 8057 and get the best price and service nationwide for the Toyota of your choice. Looking at other market prices, the average paper price increased to 18 Rand 4 cents, which was mostly driven by lower volumes. Green papers increased to 12 Rand 19, yellow papers traded higher on 36 Rand 57, while red papers traded higher on 31 Rand 81 per kilogram. Cabbage prices increased by 14% to 2 Rand 54, while garlic prices continued on its downward trend due to higher supply and traded on 43 Rand 62 per kilogram. Higher garlic production will continue to put pressure on this price as we approach the end of the year. Spinach prices also increased by 25% to 3 Rand 66, while sweet potato prices decreased to 13 Rand 79 last week. The average pumpkin price stayed in its downward trend, decreasing again by 25% and is now trading on 4 Rand 21 per kilogram, and we're expecting this price to continue in a downward trend for the rest of this year as well. Fruit market prices gained a lot of momentum over the past week and was mostly driven by lower volumes. The banana price increased to 12 Rand 46 per kilogram and is likely to remain on a higher level as previously mentioned, mostly due to lower supplies at the moment. The Class 1 large hand variety price traded on 260 Rand per 18 kilogram box on Nile last week. Apple prices remained in its upward trend, trading on 13 Rand 16, while pear prices increased to 13 Rand 61 per kilogram. It is expected that apple and pear prices can stay on this higher level at least until the end of this year. The orange price increased to 8 Rand 22 per kilogram due to volumes decreasing by 14% over the past week. This price is likely to continue in its upward trend until middle February next year. The avocado price also started to show signs of life and increased to 21 Rand 14 per kilogram, which is still about 8% lower compared to a year ago. This price can start to increase sharply from the start of next year only. Table grape prices decreased to 73 Rand 43 per kilogram, with local production starting to pick up, which will force these prices even lower over the coming months. The pineapple price, however, increased and is now trading on 16 Rand 16 per kilogram. Zimmatic irrigation systems are built to last. From industry-leading durability and strength to innovative enhancements and advanced technology, every product is designed to be a part of a custom and flexible solution that will best support you and your field. These videos are made possible by John Deere, Nile.ag, Ottery, and Zimmatic irrigation systems. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.